What's up, guys? I'm Alex Dodrief, and today we're going to talk about some college football playoff games. We're talking about Oregon versus Texas Tech. Did you guys see this happening? I think a lot of people had Oregon beating Texas Tech, but I don't think they had them shutting out Texas Tech. Now, guys, if you're new here, I talk about all things sports: college football, college baseball, college basketball, NFL, NHL, NBA. This is the place for it, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like sports content and if you like sports talk. Obviously, you see all the Florida gear behind me. I went to the University of Florida, so you're going to see me rocking Florida gear occasionally. But let's talk about this Oregon-Texas Tech game, okay? I knew going into this game, Texas Tech's defense, one of the best in the country, was going to be able to be a problem for Oregon. And guess what? It was, okay? That defense is the only reason that they had even a spot in this game. Going into halftime, it was 6-0 because this defense from Texas Tech was doing everything they possibly could in this game to get turnovers, to get anything to happen. Well, guess what? Texas Tech offense, Morton, dude, they couldn't do a thing. Okay, if I am Texas Tech right now, I bet all those boosters at Texas Tech, you know what they need to do? They need to get their checkbooks out. They need to spend a lot more money because, yeah, they have this fantastic defense. They did have a good offense. They just, going against a good team like Oregon, they were not ready. Okay, Big 12 ain't Oregon. Okay, guys? And so you got to put a lot of money, and you got to put a lot of money into that offense. Okay, if you want to be ready, you need that offense to be ready for talent like this because the offense was not ready. Morton was not ready. You have to be able to have a second quarterback. You can throw in there a third quarterback and put in there somebody else you can put in to do something because Morton, man, it hurt watching this game. Whenever Texas Tech defense was out there, dude, I could watch that all day, okay? If you could have that defense from Texas Tech play the offense and defense, they probably would have. They honestly might have a better chance to win the game than having the offense go out there because that offense couldn't do a thing, okay? They could not do a thing. First half, Oregon only scores 6 points. Second half, they score 17 points. The game's 23-0, okay? Oregon offensively did great, right? They won the game. They did what they should be, but they were sloppy. Okay, they were doing the stupid mistakes that you do not want to see a program doing. They were doing it. Okay, you can't be dropping the ball. You can't be doing stupid stuff. Okay, because if you're playing a team like Ole Miss, Miami, Indiana, and you have those simple mistakes, that's points for that other team. Okay, you can't let things like that happen. Okay, you can have this slide when you're playing against Morton here because Morton was not doing a thing. He had 137 yards, 18 for 32. Guess what he threw? 2 interceptions. It was just not ideal. Compared to Dante Moore here, 26 for 33, 1 interception. He had 234 yards in this football game. Like I said, against a really good defense. You have Davis in here with 42 rushing yards. Johnson, the tight end, with 66 receiving yards. Receiving yards over here. Tight ends both sides, man. The tight ends were balling out in this game. Then you have Williams over here rushing yards for Texas Tech. Running-wise, they did pretty well here and there. Honestly, if I'm Texas Tech, I would have rushed the ball the entire time. That was probably their best thing offensively in this game was running the football. I would have been running the football every freaking play because they could not pass. The passing was just horrifically bad. Okay, but total yards here, 309 for Oregon, 215 for Texas Tech. Turnovers were just bad. They had 4 turnovers for Texas Tech. It was done with. First downs, 15 first downs for Oregon, 10 first downs for Texas Tech. Time of possession, 38 minutes for Oregon compared to 22 minutes for Texas Tech. Okay, Oregon was just controlling this game the whole time, guys. They had the clock. They had everything, okay? They were not losing this game. There wasn't a moment where I was worried that Oregon wasn't going to win this one. Okay, even after the first half, I was like, Texas Tech's not going to come in here and make adjustments and this offense is going to be somehow really good. No, if you were watching that first half, you knew going into the second half, the only team that's going to be making adjustments to score is going to be Oregon. Okay, was Texas Tech going to try and make adjustments? Yes. They were not going to be able to do anything. And also, eventually, your defense can only do so much. Okay, the offense was putting the defense for Texas Tech in such an awful situation because they'd go and have a turnover, and then guess what? It's like, obviously they're going to score when they're in the freaking red zone already. Like, what do you expect the Texas Tech defense to do when time and time again that offense was just putting them in really tough situations, really bad situations? So, I don't know. I enjoyed watching Texas Tech the entire season. I do think they deserve to be here. So everyone out there is like, Texas Tech does not deserve to be here. It's BS that they're here. Be quiet. Okay, they deserve to be here. Look what they did to BYU twice this season. Who would you rather have, Texas Tech or BYU? Like, come on now, let's be real. And then people are saying JMU is better than Texas Tech because JMU scored a bunch on Oregon. Guys, calm down. Okay, that's just not the case. Very different game, very different situation. I still think Texas Tech is a really good football team. Were they the fourth best team in the country? Probably not the fourth best team in the country. A lot of people were like, oh, this is an upset. In no way was this game an upset. Okay, Oregon was favored, guys. Oregon was favored to win this game. This game was never an upset if Texas Tech lost this game. It was never going to be that. If Texas Tech would have beat Oregon, that would have been an upset, okay, because Oregon was the better team. Okay, going into this game, the only thing that Texas Tech had in this game was that defense. I knew from the beginning when this game was announced that the hardest thing for this Texas Tech team was going to be the offense against Oregon, and sure enough, I was right. Okay, this offense just couldn't do a single thing. Now, if you're Texas Tech, what do you do? What do you do next? What coaching moves do you make next? Okay, what recruiting moves do you make next? What portal moves do you make next? The portal opened up today, guys. So you already know the transfer portal is just madness right now. Who do you go to get as the quarterback? Okay? Who do you go to get for receivers, running backs, all that? Who do you go to get to be your game change makers? Okay, also you got to remember, a lot of these defensive guys, they're not going to be here this next season. So how are you going to make it so that this freaking defense that was one of the best in the country stays one of the best in the country? They have a very, very hard thing to do right now, and that's getting the players, getting the guys to come there. I don't think like money's a problem, right? We've already seen Texas Tech has the money. They put so much money into their football team this season, and they did what I thought they would do. They won the Big 12, right? The next thing, they made the college football playoffs. Boom, that was massive. Well, the next thing, this next year, you got to win the Big 12 again, which that's going to be hard, okay? Because you're playing teams like BYU. BYU is a good team. You got the Utah Utes. You have good teams in the Big 12 that you do have to compete against. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do this next season. Because other teams are going to be making adjustments. Other teams are going to have other people putting more money into the transfer portal, putting money into the NIL, okay? So they're going to have more competition this next year. So does Texas Tech make it into the playoffs next year? Who knows? They might not. Now, Oregon. We got to talk about Oregon because Oregon gets to go and play Indiana again. This game is going to be a movie. I am so excited for this rematch. I think Oregon could beat Indiana, but also at the same time, I think Indiana is the most complete team right now. Offensively, defensively, they just do everything great. Okay, they don't look like this magical unicorn of a team. They just look good. They're not doing anything crazy. They just look good. Oregon, right now, I will say this: I do have Indiana, I think, a little bit favored to beat Oregon. But at the same time, I could see Oregon beating Indiana also. Look, they lost to them by 10 points this season. I could see them beating them by 10 points in the same season. So curious to know, if you're an Oregon fan, what do you think the outcome is going to be against Indiana? Also, how did you feel about beating Texas Tech? Were you happy with what you saw offensively? Were you happy with what you saw defensively? Let me know in the comments. I know there's going to be some people that are like, look, you're not happy with some of the stuff that happened. The mistakes that were made, you're not happy the mistakes happened. You know, you don't want to see people dropping balls. Simple stuff should not happen like that. But curious to know what you guys think in the comments down below. And guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now for more content just like this. I'm Alex Dodrive. I like to sit here and talk to you guys about sports. I also go live. And if you want to find me on all my other social media links, look me up at Alex Dodrive. On TikTok almost every single day live. On Instagram as well, at Alex Dodrive. And I look forward to talking to you guys in my next video. But make sure you subscribe, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.